Here we go. We are live streaming. Some people might think I'm a little crazy for doing this during the Super Bowl, but hey, what do you say? I am ready for it. Rain or shine, it's always time to tie flies for me. So this is what we'll do. We'll wait for my countdown timer here to tick away, and we will begin. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes here just getting things going. Get the link shared and all that fun jazz. It's going to be a fun night tonight. Going to be tying a Bloody Butcher. Should be kind of fun. Tied a few of them up. I'm going to tie one up kind of classic according to the recipe and all that jazz. Kind of traditional. And I have a couple options for I don't know, adding a little modern twist. Alright, copy and paste. You know, if you don't know how to copy and paste on your computer, that is something to learn. Let's see here, looking up, got 2 minutes till kickoff. Actually, that was about a half hour ago. Yeah, I hope we get a few people joining me tonight. I know not everybody's a big football fan, and not even the football fans are, you know, everybody's consumed with the big game, but I don't know. Truth be told, the Bloody Butcher that I'm tying tonight, it's a throw to my Atlanta Falcons. I was a bona fide, legit card-carrying member, resident of Atlanta for 3 years. So, you know, they always say, you know, rooting for the home team and whatnot. Atlanta, a little bit of me will always be in Georgia. A little bit of Georgia will always be in me. So it's not the Lions, but I can't have everything. Got the Cubs. Cubs won their big game. We'll get a little bit more light on here. That's one of the key things I love about my bench area is my escalation of force when it comes to lighting and whatnot. So here we go, counting down to the Bloody Butcher. So feel free to jump in on the chat. I will be monitoring that as we go along. Anyways, so I got that monitored. And get ready to tie. And here we go. Hello, and officially welcome you to another weekly Talk and Tie live stream session with Veterans View for you. My name is Aaron Husingfeld, and I am a veteran. So this Bloody Butcher, it's an old classic sea trout pattern. We'll get the camera there adjusted. Like I was saying, you know, it's like despite the Super Bowl going on, I am a Falcons fan. I couldn't tell you one player on the team, but that doesn't make you a fan or not. So that's kind of the inspiration behind some of the colors with the red and the yellow, or not the red and yellow, but the red and the black. And where I got the idea, when I move the camera, I got this picture here. This is passed along from some family. So you gotta just get your inspiration where you get it and go from there. So do me a favor, give me that thumbs up button, hit that like at the bottom portion of your screen, just down there or wherever it is, and hit that share button. Let people know we're tying live here on Veterans View for you. So anyways, here we go, the Bloody Butcher. And for a hook, these are size 12. If I can locate them again, there we go. Size 12 Mustad 9672s. Nice, good, sturdy hook. Nice, good, classic, old school hook for an old school pattern, I say. So we'll get one of those out of the box. And into the vise. Get your hook in there. And for a thread, I am using a Uni A-Dot Black. Cast your thread on. I'm going to go right here, right behind the head. And that's just a fly tying hack, if you will. If you start your thread there and make a mental note not to go past that, you know, the odds are pretty good that you're not going to crowd the eye. Little insurance policy. I work my thread all the way back here to the bend and tie in my tail. And for my tail, I'm just using this bright red, I believe it's goose or duck or one of those water birds. And I'm going to take a little bit from either side, and I just go ahead and cut them the same length right off the get-go. Everything's stuck together nice and even. There we go. And just slide it off and slide it off. I'm going to put these face to face and line up the tips. Oh, as I bump the camera, we'll get back there to that hook. Here we go. If I just get my hands. Now this is where patience comes in. And it sure would be nice to have some little micro extra fingers. Come on. Fortunately, I can't do that leaning over the camera. There we go. So at least we got them face to face now, and I need to line up those tips as best as we can. Here we go. And I'm going to go about a hook's length for, I might have to just do one at a time. That's always an option, folks. Don't forget, you can always just tie in your material. If you're doing a fancy tail like this, you can do it one at a time. But that is not working. You know, I can tie 1,000 of these up, and then when I go do the live stream, everything just falls apart on you. We'll try that again. So I'm just going to cut off my material here again. This is being extremely difficult. So this is definitely not your beginner fly, at least this traditional variation. So there we go. I have 2 little strips. And we're going to tie those in finally. Nice tight wrap. Lock it down nice and good. And what I like to do is just to keep the body a consistent thickness, I'm just going to go ahead and lay those down and trim off the excess up at the head. And you know, you can carefully wrap all the way from the back to the front. I sometimes, just for the sake of time, will just fold it over, and you know, it can be a little bit thicker. I mean, that's all right. No, I just, without any kind of fuss, that laid down there nice and pretty. For the body, at least here on this first one, this is a silver tinsel. This is metal. Maybe it's aluminum. Don't know for sure. Take a little bit off the card. This is really, really durable. It's really tough. So I really don't feel like I have to add any additional counter wraps of wire or anything on this. This is probably stronger than wire in some circumstances, but anyways, we're going to lie this down nice and flat right here on the top side, and if it wants to roll over, let it roll over. It doesn't really matter. Park your thread up front, and we're going to just simply wrap this up the body, up the shank of the hook, touching or very slightly overlapping wraps. And I'm going to do a second one here, kind of non-traditional. I went to Joann Fabrics, and I came across this kind of flashy floss, holographic. They had it in silver and they had it in gold, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But I ended up taking off the big spool and putting on the small spools with my wife's sewing machine. Just, you know, that's how much tensile strength it had. It could really take the abuse, and I don't know, still kind of fragile, but we'll see when we get there. That ought to do it for the body. So who do we have out there watching? I am checking my the chat here on the YouTube page. Periodically, just glancing over my shoulder. I don't have it right in my face or anything like that, but here we go. All right. So now I'm going to take some red hackle fibers. This is going to be kind of my undercut, or the gills, or whatever you want to call it, the throat. But a little bit of, I'm just going to strip off, take them out, line it that way, all my tips are lined up. And I can keep those all lined up, and just to kind of break that tension, I can just trim that off, and a little bit of a stem that was still stuck in there. Anyways, on this I want to line this up as far as length as just to the tip of the hook. So I got the tip of the hackles, and anyways, that's where it's going to line up. Couple tight wraps. Make sure it stays there on the bottom. Not necessarily on the bottom. It can go up on the sides a little bit, but you want the majority of it on the bottom there. So who do we got there? Creek Bassin, what's up? And Jessica Husingfeld says, go Falcon Fumble. And Atlanta's ball. No score yet. That's all right. Because we are tying and talking flies here. Doing my red and black themed The Bloody Butcher. So that's it. Just a little small stack of fibers on the bottom there. And then for the wing, this is, I believe it's duck. Could be duck, could be goose. I'll go with duck or goose. Yeah, you can kind of figure out whatever way works best for you to trim these off. Some people might think I'm a little crazy, but here I got them front to front. And I got the bottom corner here kind of matched up. In one fellow swoop, I got both sides of those wings. Everything's lined up. It's one of those kind of brave moments where you just go for it. Maybe 1/8 inch or so smaller. There we go. And before I tie that in, I'm just going to kind of give that a quick compression. Nice tight wraps. There's no substitute. I'll back that up. Wasn't quite satisfied with that length. It was just a little too long. What do you think? I think I even have a little too much wing on there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to shorten these wings up a little bit. Take a small chunk out of that one. A small chunk out of that one. I'll line these up here real quick. These are something that definitely will test your patience. But boy, when it works out, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the wings splay out perfectly the way they're supposed to. Here we go. Might have butchered these. We'll see. Yeah. I think that'll definitely work. Most definitely. Might be a little bit short, but I like the way they're splaying out on me. And it's just a simple black head up front. And I see on this one I probably could have moved everything a little bit closer to the eye. But it'll definitely work. So this is more or less your traditional Bloody Butcher. And seal off the head, I'm just going to do some good old-fashioned Sally Hansen's hard as nails. Just a few drops. And there we go. The Falcons just landed a big one. Well, hopefully that was a big touchdown instead of just a big one. Like, oh my gosh, I just dropped a big one. I think I need to get some better scissors, or at least something to... Lately I've been ended up with that little tag on the bottom where I trim off my thread. So there you have it. That is the Bloody Butcher. Come on, wings. There we go. That'll work. That'll definitely work for the Bloody Butcher. So that is with the kind of the traditional, typical materials. But I want to tie one up just a little differently. Throw a different twist on it. And if I have any, I think that might be long enough. I don't know. I'm thinking either calf tail or I don't have any just black bucktail. I guess I'll just continue with the duck. Alright. So this is going to be a modern twist to the same fly. Sorry about that, putting away some of those materials. Essentially it's going to be the same, but it's going to be just slightly different. And this will be it for tonight. This will conclude the live stream, because I want to get back to that football game, kind of. Sounds like it's a lot of fun out there. So a must add, size 12. Nice heavy hook. And this time I am going to tie in a little bit of UTC red size small wire. And again, I'm going for uniformity, so I'm just going to tie all my stuff up in the front, or at least have material going that full length. So take my thread all the way up there to the bend. Keep bumping the camera. Sorry about the little earthquake. Get that wire in there nice and good and tight. And I've tied a couple of these ones up this way so far. Just experimenting, and you always got to keep keep looking at different ways to. So for this, instead of using that fancy dyed duck or goose or whatnot, I am going to do just a little bit of marabou. Still a little bit too thick to tie in just the tip, and I can get what I need just out of these side fibers. So again, I'm just going to strip those all off together. And this time with the marabou, I don't want a full big long tail on here. I just want a small little tag end of that, at least on this variation that I'm doing here. So like I did before, I don't want necessarily to build up the bulk, but I just want to keep things even. So I'm just going to lay that all flat. And there we go. It's all locked down nice and purty. Alright, so this is what I got at the fabric store. It is Sulky's Hollow Shimmer. 250 yards. And just took a little bit of time and re-spooled a batch onto a small usable bobbin. And I don't know, it's some interesting stuff. It's really bright and shiny. It's a silver. A lot of reflectivity in there. And it's relatively strong, but I don't necessarily trust it on its own yet. This hasn't been proven. Not a proven material, but boy, it's pretty tough. So that's why I'm doing the wire with it. I'm giving it a counter wrap with the wire. Yeah, so I got that tied in, and I don't have a rotary vise, so to make things easier, I'm just gonna tie off my working thread, and I'm just going to trim it off for the meantime. It just helps the process of wrapping this on, because like before, I want to cover the whole body in this nice shiny silver. And if I take my time and just pay attention, I can do it without going back and forth and building up bulk. And from time to time, I'm going to give my bobbin some counterclockwise spins to help the material lay flat. And when you give it a good pull, it doesn't stretch. This is some interesting material here, so I roll with it. A nice even layer from front to back. Here we go. And this stuff is so easy to work with. I can even use the whip finish tool to secure it. And it just broke off there. That was actually the first time I've ever had it kind of break off on me. Anyways, so come through here with, well, get back into focus there, camera. I'm going to do some counter wraps with this red wire, and I don't know, it's no doubt about it, it's adding some security. I forgot to cast on my, I gotta put the black thread back on. No big deal. You know, it's just like when your thread accidentally breaks on you, but you're expecting it. So this is a modern, kind of modern twist to an old classic. I think it's pretty cool. A few locking wraps on that, and trim off the red wire. Now, for the underneath portion on this one, I am just going to use some red crystal flash. One strand. I'm going to double it over once. Double it over twice. I'm going to double it over 3 times. And even a 4th. So that one strand yielded me more than enough. Trim up my loops, and that just kind of breaks the tension of it. And you guessed it, this is going to go right underneath, about to the tip of the hook. There we go. That's plenty there underneath, so I'm just going to come in and I always struggle trimming material underneath. I suppose this is where maybe I do need to get a rotary vise. I don't know. I really like my fixed vise. I love my Regal. Hashtag I love my Regal. Does it work if you say hashtag? Alright, so it looks like Atlanta might be in the lead in the Super Bowl. But I want to be in the lead of this fly. So here I go. I'm going to attempt this again. I got a matching set. And, you know, having a good matching set is worth it. You know, I still got all these little biots here I could use for stone flies. I have not ventured into the stonefly world yet. I should be, probably will be soon. Probably by my next video. Ha 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 ha. Alright, so I got these face to face. I lined up my tips. I think that'll do it. Goes a little bit of a compression. And some nice tight wraps. You know, I think I'm cutting too big of pieces off, and I want the wings to be just a little bit thinner. So I'll take a little off of this side and a little off of that side. There we go. I like that a lot better. You know, you don't need big, giant, gaudy wings on these. I think kind of more of a slender, slim profile is going to be the way to go. So finish everything off, get a nice black head up front. And with this ADOT, it takes a little bit to build up. And again, I could have probably took everything a little bit closer to the eye of the hook. But it is what it is. What can I say? So here we go. A couple turns on the whip finish. Here we go. A little bit better. I just want that wing to sit up. There we go. There we go. And a little bit Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails. Get that soaked in there nice and good. So that's kind of, I don't know, a slightly modern twist to a old pattern. Kind of a new twist with the different materials. It's definitely an adaptation, but we'll see how it works if I ever get to fish it. I want to trim this down just a little bit up here in the front. Come on, you. Here we go. I think that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, there you have it, folks. Kind of a sweet and condensed talk and tie. Here we go. That's about as zoomed in as it gets. So it's a size 12. Bloody Butcher. There we go. With a marabou tail, some red crystal flash, some of this, what did I call it? Sparkle shimmer. Hollow shimmer. Pretty neat stuff. Pretty neat stuff. Sturdy. I like it. Alright, folks. That's it for today. That's it for tonight. Be sure to subscribe. Hit me up on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is Veterans View for You. Public service announcement time. It's a number for the Veterans Crisis Line or Suicide Hotline. It's 1-800-273-8255. Press 1, or you can just text to 838-255. All right, guys. Have a good night. Let's go Falcons.